You're watching DX Recaps, the place where we break down movies fast, clear, and spoiler-packed. Whether you missed it, forgot it, or just want a quick refresh, we've got you covered. Let's get into the story. A long time ago, mighty beings known as Titans ruled the universe. But their reign was cut short when their own children rose against them. To defeat their parents, the children created an enormous beast, the Kraken. After their victory, they proclaimed themselves as gods, with Zeus as the ruler of the heavens. Through trickery and deceit, however, his brother Hades was forced to dwell in the underworld, condemned to endless suffering. In time, Zeus shaped mankind in his own image, so mortals would worship the gods, granting them immortality and limitless power. But humans grew restless. Doubt turned into rebellion, and soon they rose up against the heavens. Far away in the ocean, a fisherman discovers a coffin drifting in the waves. Inside lies a woman's body and, miraculously, a newborn child still alive. The fisherman takes the baby in as his own. That child grows into a young man named Perseus, who becomes a fisherman just like his adoptive father. One day, they travel toward the city of Argos and pass by an enormous statue of Zeus standing proudly over the ocean. But the old man notices something unusual. An army of soldiers are tearing down the statue's base. Soon, the colossal monument collapses into the sea, sending massive waves crashing into the waters below. The soldiers cheer in triumph. Their victory doesn't last long. The sky darkens with storm clouds, and from the ocean burst swarms of winged creatures, diving at the mortals who dared insult the gods. The soldiers fight back but are slaughtered one by one, hopeless against the demons. The creatures then merge together, twisting into the form of Hades himself. Spotting the fisherman's boat, Hades charges at them, striking with such force that the vessel is smashed into the sea. Perseus narrowly escapes, but his family is trapped inside as the boat sinks deeper and deeper. He desperately swims to save them, but it's too late. Helpless, he watches them drown before being forced to cling to the wreckage, crying out in despair. Meanwhile, Zeus rages in Olympus at humanity's betrayal. Hades appears, urging his brother to let him punish Argos. Though Apollo warns that the gods still need mortal prayers for their power, Zeus agrees. Convinced fear is the only way to remind mankind of the gods' love. Perseus, barely alive, is rescued by Argos soldiers and brought to the city. Inside the palace, the soldiers declare victory over the gods despite heavy losses. The people cheer, while King Cepheus promises a new age where men no longer bow to divine rulers. His daughter Andromeda warns against their arrogance, fearing divine retribution, but her mother mocks her concerns, boasting that humans are now gods themselves. Suddenly, the lights fade. A swirling black smoke fills the hall, dragging soldiers into the air and devouring them one by one. Perseus, however, stands his ground. From the dark mist emerges Hades. Intrigued by Perseus's resistance, he turns his wrath on the queen, draining her life until she collapses as a corpse. Hades warns the people. In 10 days, when the sun is eclipsed, he will unleash the Kraken upon Argos, unless Princess Andromeda is sacrificed as an offering. Before leaving, he reveals that Perseus is the son of Zeus, the true cause of their coming doom. The soldiers seize Perseus, and their leader Draco tortures him for answers, but Perseus knows nothing. Soon, a mysterious woman named Io approaches him. She knows his true past. Perseus is a demigod. Long ago, King Acryus led a rebellion against the gods. Instead of destroying him, Zeus punished him in a crueler way. Disguised as Acryus, Zeus seduced the queen. When the king returned and discovered what had happened, he ordered both his wife and the newborn child killed. He cast them into the sea in a coffin. Enraged, Zeus struck Acryus with lightning, twisting him into a monstrous being doomed to suffer forever. Io explains that Perseus's divine heritage makes him the only one capable of slaying the Kraken. Since the beast was born from Hades, killing it would also weaken him. Seeking vengeance for his family, Perseus agrees to join Draco's men on a journey to consult the Stygian witches, who know how to defeat the monster. Elsewhere, Hades finds Acryus, now a disfigured outcast. He tells him Zeus's son lives and offers him power to exact revenge. Breathing corruption into his body, Hades transforms Acryus into a stronger, deadlier monster, promising Zeus's downfall if he kills Perseus. Meanwhile, Perseus and the soldiers trek through a forest. A strange light beckons Perseus to a glowing sword, a gift from Zeus forged from the heavens themselves. Though amazed, Perseus rejects it, refusing to accept anything from the gods who destroyed his family. Soon after, he witnesses winged horses. Among them descends a magnificent black-winged steed, Pegasus. Io explains it was sent by the gods to aid him. Before Perseus can take it in, a terrifying roar echoes. Acryus ambushes them, slaughtering soldiers with ease. He charges at Perseus, knocking him down a hill and chasing him like a wild beast. The monster strikes with immense force, nearly killing Perseus. In their struggle, Acryus bites into Perseus's arm, causing him to scream in agony. Soldiers rush to help, but Acryus proves unstoppable. Just as he's about to crush Perseus, Draco slices off his hand, saving him. Wounded, Acryus flees, but his severed hand mutates into a giant scorpion. The soldiers chase him into ruins, only for the ground to quake as more massive scorpions erupt from beneath the earth. The warriors are forced into battle, desperately striking at the monstrous creatures. Many are killed as tails impale them and claws smash them aside. Draco bravely leaps onto one, stabbing its back with twin blades. Another soldier throws him a spear, which he drives deep into the beast, finally killing it. Perseus fights furiously but is struck down, slammed against stone by another scorpion. As its venomous tail prepares to pierce him, Io intervenes, severing the stinger. The beast then turns on her, trapping her inside a crumbling structure. At the last moment, Perseus charges in, pulling her to safety as they sprint away, the scorpion close behind. Realizing escape is impossible, Perseus pushes Io aside and faces the monster alone. With a mighty leap, the scorpion crashes down. Onlookers gasp, believing Perseus has been devoured. But he bursts out from its stomach, killing it from within. Just as relief settles in, more soldiers rush in shouting warnings. Giant scorpions are swarming over the hills, surrounding the group with no way out. Just as the enemies are about to strike, the creatures suddenly freeze in place when a strange chanting echoes from afar. Draco immediately recognizes the mysterious figures as djinns, old enemies they fought many years ago. But Perseus believes these beings are allies, since they were the ones who stopped the monsters. To everyone's surprise, the djinns quickly take control of the giant scorpions, taming them and turning them into mounts for transportation. Although hesitant at first, the soldiers decide to trust the djinns, knowing it's the only way to continue their journey before the eclipse begins. Riding the scorpions, the group travels across the lands swiftly and effortlessly, eventually reaching the Garden of Stygia, the home of dangerous witches. They climb the mountain as night falls, carefully making their way toward the peak. Soon, 3 hideous, eyeless witches appear before them, already aware of what the warriors seek. They demand payment for their knowledge and attack the soldiers, but Perseus manages to snatch their single shared eye. He threatens to destroy it unless they reveal a way to kill the Kraken. With no choice, the witches reveal that only Medusa can slay the beast, since her gaze can turn any living flesh into stone. Though Perseus throws their eye to the ground, the witches cackle and warn him he will die on this journey no matter what he does. The grim prophecy causes many to abandon the mission, leaving behind only the soldiers and the djinn leader, who seeks vengeance against the gods for banishing his people to the desert. As they descend the mountain, Perseus encounters a mysterious man who reveals himself to be Zeus. The god tells Perseus he will not defeat the Kraken nor take revenge on Hades, just as the witches predicted. Zeus offers to protect his son, granting him a place among the gods in Olympus, but Perseus refuses, choosing to live and die as a man. Not wanting to see him fail, Zeus gives Perseus a golden coin, payment needed for entry into Medusa's lair. The group soon arrives at a massive chasm where a ghostly river flows under a heavy fog. Perseus offers the gold coin, and the djinn chants a spell while tossing it into the water. Suddenly, countless dead souls rise, pulling a massive boat towards them. A dark ferryman welcomes the travelers aboard, carrying them across the cursed river of molten rock until they reach the entrance to Medusa's lair. Only the men are allowed to enter, Io stays behind. Inside, they find countless statues of petrified warriors, grim reminders of Medusa's power. A maniacal laughter echoes, and arrows suddenly fly through the cave, striking down soldiers into the lava pits. Perseus saves the djinn, while Draco orders the others to flank Medusa. One by one, soldiers are turned to stone, shattered as they fall. Perseus and the djinn desperately avoid her deadly gaze. Perseus lures her out, giving Draco the chance to set an ambush. The djinn bravely sacrifices himself by detonating his own body, wounding Medusa. Draco seizes the moment, dropping a massive boulder onto her tail to pin her down, though he is turned to stone in the process. Seizing the chance, Perseus uses the reflection on his shield to avoid her gaze, leaping forward and decapitating Medusa. Victorious but alone, Perseus carries her head, only to find Io fatally stabbed by Acryus. Enraged, Perseus fights the monster but is quickly overpowered. Wounded, he finally strikes back with divine weapons, turning the tide and stabbing Acryus in the stomach. The monster reverts to his human form before falling into the abyss. Perseus rushes to Io, but she tells him to stop the Kraken and save Argos before vanishing into dust. At that moment, Pegasus descends from the skies, offering Perseus a ride back to Argos. As the eclipse nears, the sea splits open, releasing the Kraken's colossal tentacles that crash into the city, devastating everything in their path. The terrified people bind Princess Andromeda as a sacrifice to spare themselves. Meanwhile, in Olympus, Hades reveals his true scheme. Since the Kraken was born of his own flesh, its destruction fuels his power while draining the other gods. Riding Pegasus, Perseus races to confront the Kraken, but Hades sends his demons to steal Medusa's head. Perseus pursues them into the collapsing city, fighting desperately until he finally reclaims it. The Kraken emerges in full form, towering and roaring over the city as Andromeda cries helplessly. Perseus, leaping from Pegasus, crashes down with the demon carrying Medusa's head, landing behind the princess just as the Kraken closes in to devour her. In the final moment, Perseus unleashes Medusa's gaze upon the beast. The Kraken roars in agony as its massive body slowly turns to stone, collapsing and shattering apart. Furious, Hades appears to kill Perseus, but the demigod summons lightning and hurls it at him, blasting the god back into the underworld. Perseus then dives into the water, rescuing Andromeda from drowning. Grateful, she offers him her hand in marriage, but Perseus refuses, saying he has no desire to be king. Returning her safely to her people, Perseus is approached once more by Zeus, who rewards his son by resurrecting Io, allowing Perseus to finally live his life with the woman he loves. And that's a wrap on today's recap. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a plot twist. Got a movie you want recapped? Drop it in the comments below. This is DX Recaps. See you in the next one.